Some of you may know that, actually some of you do know that I'm a big fan of movies and TV shows, and some of you have given recommendations to me of different shows on different streaming sites. And the one common theme between all these shows that could be religious and secular is the fact that you recommend them because you really find yourself engaged by the story. Some of you even, in fact, are drawn into the story. I see sometimes people go to these conventions dressed up as characters from the story themselves. Well, while we're not dressed up like the characters in this story, we have just been drawn into the story, the greatest story. But this is unlike any story, and this is unlike any retelling, because we're not just going through the motions. We don't have to wish that we were there because we've just been brought there. You see, at every Mass, we don't act it out. We remember, and by our remembering, that moment is brought here. The greatest moment where we are set free. So as you were speaking those parts in the crowd, you weren't just remembering them, you are them. And so I encourage you during this week, as you remember the greatest story that involves you and me, to take the time this week to go back and read it again. Pick a person that resonates with you, or a phrase that you said today, or that Jesus or the voice or the narrator said that sticks to you, and stick with that. Maybe watch a dramatic representation of it. If you find that you are more visual, that you need to be more assisted in drawing into the story. Maybe go, and I encourage you to go on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, where mystically we are brought back again to the Last Supper, to the cross, to the tomb, and to the resurrection. Don't waste this time, because this week is unlike any other, because this story isn't unlike any other. And while you don't have to go about this week dressed up in garbs of the ancient Jewish people, you don't need to. You just need to ask and accept the invitation to not just remember what Jesus did, but what Jesus is doing here. What he's doing here and now, because at every Mass, it's the cross. At every Mass, he says, do this in memory of me. He says, forgive them. Take my body and my blood. Every Mass is his suffering. Every Mass is his resurrection. So as you come before God's altar today, ask for the grace to accept the invitation to make this Holy Week holy, so that you may always remember, and by remembering enter the story, the greatest story, because it involves you and me and the greatest one, the one who loves you so much. And by remembering and entering, you may receive the gift he has in store.